Hello, kindly people of YouTube, Punk Rock Fairy Princess here, and we are back with another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. explain/recap video thing. So, on Friday, the newest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. aired, The Window of Opportunity. Like the last episode, part of the episode takes place on Earth and the other part in space. Sarge and his team are robbing a convenience store and mention they've been to a bunch of worlds. The choice of the word worlds suggests that Sarge's team are not from this universe, but from an alternate one. As they leave, we find out they have some sort of cloaking technology around their truck, which explains why S.H.I.E.L.D. has been having a hard time finding them. I've got to say, seeing Coulson like this, or rather, Clark Gregg playing this character is really weird. I mean, at least in the framework, he was still kind of himself, but this is so different. Also, I kind of like Knife Girl. She's weirdly sweet. We see that beard dude, whose name is Jocko, is from a place with a different type of atmosphere, I guess, and needs to breathe some sort of gas to live. This gas kind of looks like smoke, which explains this one clip in which it looks like his beard's on fire. They are out of something called PEGs, and we also see that there's some tension on the team, especially between Gun Guy, whose name is Pax, and Sarge, specifically about Tinker's death. Also, Knife Girl's real name is Snowflake. I kind of like the names I've given them, but we're just going to refer to them as their real names from now on. Apparently, PEGs have something to do with precious stones, because the team decides to go to a jeweler's to get them. Back at S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, Dr. Benson posits the theory that Sarge is an LMD. LMD stands for Life Model Decoy, and they were important back in Season 4. They're androids built to mimic human behavior, but are not artificial intelligence. However, even at this point in the episode, this theory is unlikely. Sarge's team seems to have made the shipyard their base. Apparently, their plan is to reduce the Earth to ash, which is fun. At S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, we find out that Mac knows about Yo-Yo and Keller. Yo-Yo and Keller talk since he and Fox were close and he is currently mourning him. Elsewhere in HQ, Dr. Benson questions May about Coulson's death. She's really defensive, and it is interesting that we haven't seen any flashbacks to her time with Coulson and Coulson's death, and I feel like there's something important there that we're going to find out about later. Dr. Benson discovers that Sarge's DNA taken from the slushie at the convenience store is 100% matched to Coulson's, which is very interesting and does fit with the alternate universe theory, at least as far as I can understand that theory. Later on, Dr. Benson asks Mac about May and Coulson's relationship, and Mac kind of explains the whole situation, so Dr. Benson's a little bit more sympathetic to May's situation. Sarge's team arrives at the jeweler's and threatens Dana, the lady who works there. In spite of Sarge's threat, she presses the panic button. Meanwhile, May and Yo-Yo go to the shipyard and kind of chat as they're looking through it, and May discourages Yo-Yo for pursuing a relationship with Keller. Despite last episode being all for it, this is probably related to her defensiveness about Coulson with Dr. Benson earlier. Already we can see that May is retreating back into her shell that she was in before the whole thing with Coulson happened, which is sad, because May needs to be more open about her feelings. That's more emotionally healthy. In the jewelers, Sarge's team locks themselves and Dana in the vault and makes some sort of portal/gateway between the vault and a special panel in the truck in the shipyard. The things they're looking for are PEGs.
Piezoelectric gems.
They're crystals that are naturally polarizing and can generate an electrical charge under applied mechanical pressure. Dana realizes they're talking about crystals and points them to some quartz and topaz, which she thinks might suit their needs. Returning to the shipyard, because May suspects that that is where the portal leads to, she finds the invisible truck. She enters the truck and fights Pax first, knocking him out, and then Jocko, who she also manages to incapacitate. Also, quick side note, it is very cool to see May be badass and awesome again, because I missed that. She frees Dana from inside the vault, and Dana escapes, but Jocko regains consciousness, and he and Snowflake fight May. Sarge enters the truck because he saw Dana running through the shipyard. His appearance distracts May, and she is knocked back into the vault and trapped inside, soon to be rescued by the rest of her team. Jocko is worried about Sarge because he froze a bit when May called him Coulson, and Sarge says that the name rings a bell. This is very interesting, because if we're going with the whole alternate universe theory, Sarge is some version of Coulson, and something would have had to have happened to him for his name to be almost unrecognizable to him. In any case, the fact that the name Coulson is at least slightly significant to Sarge does point towards the alternate universe theory. Dr. Benson cracks the chip that they found on Tinker and finds that it's some sort of biological hard drive. On it, he finds video footage of a planet being destroyed. reduced to ash by Sarge's crew. Now, in space, we find out that Fitz is working on a Savosian ship, pretending to be from Sivas himself. He is found out by the other crew members. They find out that he's been changing his eyes with an iriscope to look like them, which explains the clip at the end of the last episode. They take him to their boss, Vero, and also find Enoch hidden within the ship. Vero wants to kill them, but Fitz negotiates, saying that his skills as an engineer are invaluable. Vero allows him to stay as long as he works for free and manages to fix the airlock before they get to Naroatia. After Fitz fixes the airlock, Vero decides to kill the rest of the crew since he only really needs Fitz. Fitz is determined to stop it even though Enoch discourages his heroic instincts. Fitz doesn't want even a chance of the Doctor returning, who he refers to later in the episode, and so is determined to do the right thing. So he threatens to join the rest of the crew in the airlock. Vero calls his bluff and closes the airlock. As it turns out, this was all a plan on the part of Fitz and Enoch. Enoch opens the other airlock door, sucking Vero and his cronies out, and manages to hold on and close it again. They approach Naroatia, but change course to Kitson to drop off the crew so they don't get killed for mutiny. And just as they pass by Naroatia, Daisy, Gemma, and the team arrive at the planet. I know they obviously can't have Gemma and Fitz reunite right away, but I'm hoping there won't be too many of the, oh no, they just missed each other moments, because it's reminding me a bit of all those times in Game of Thrones when, like, the various Stark siblings would, like, just miss each other. I remember that was very frustrating, so I just hope that's not going to happen in this show. One interesting thing I found in this episode was the numerous mentions of being a hero. Part of this is obviously to accentuate how Sarge is basically Coulson's opposite. While Coulson always encouraged people to be their best selves, Sarge discourages people from being heroes, twice in this episode alone. And of course, Fitz is afraid that his needing to survive and reunite with Gemma will cause him to do the wrong thing and provoke the return of the Doctor. And since Fitz refers to the Doctor, I'm hoping that we're gonna get a good conclusion to this character arc, because I feel like last season didn't really fully address everything. All in all, this episode was definitely compelling, and I'm really looking forward to next week when we see how Gemma and Daisy and their team react to not finding Fitz on Naroatia. Also, I hope we learn more about Sarge and his past, because that's always like the big question of the season. Anyway, I will be back next week with another recap explanation video thing. Currently I'm freaking out about Game of Thrones because the episode will be starting soon and I am scared. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!